So here's something that's kind of crazy to think about. The average project manager in IT, like a mid-level PM at a software company, makes around $80,000 a year. Some make way more than that, honestly, right? And look, I'm not saying PMs are useless. Like I've worked with some really good ones and I was a PM myself, right? But here's the thing. Most of what they do day to day, it's not strategic thinking. It's not even leadership, right? It's mostly what? Updating Jira tickets, chasing people on Teams, Slack, and emails, right? Maybe writing status reports that nobody even reads. And that stuff, AI can do that right now, like today, not in some future scenario, like literally right now. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how AI handles each of the core PM responsibilities. And I'm going to be using real IT software examples because that's what I know. That's what I work with, every day. So let's get into it. All right. So before we start replacing anything, let's break down what a project manager really does. Because I think people have this vague idea of like, oh, they manage projects. Yeah, thanks. Really helpful. But if you really look at it, a PM's job comes down to 6 core things. You've got sprint planning, so basically figuring out what the team does each week or each 2-week cycle. Then there's task assignment, like who's doing what. You've got stand-up coordination. Those are your daily check-ins where everyone says what they're working on. Then you have status reporting, where you're keeping stakeholders in the loop. Then you have risk tracking, spotting problems before they blow up. And then there's the communication piece, keeping everyone on the same page. It could be your email, Slack messages, meeting notes, all of that stuff, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you actually time track a PM's week, and some companies have done this, right? And they do this currently as well. Something like 60 to 70% of their time goes to the administrative stuff, the updating, the reporting, the chasing. But the actual strategic thinking, that part which requires a human brain, that's maybe like 20 to 30%. So the question isn't really, can AI replace a PM? The question is, can AI handle that 60 to 70%? And yeah, it can. All right, let's start with sprint planning because this is where it gets really interesting. So traditionally, sprint planning is this whole ceremony. The PM looks at the backlog, talks to the product owner, figures out his priorities, estimates effort, and then assigns stories to the sprint, right? And honestly, half the time the estimates are wrong anyway. Like we all know that, right? A 3-point story somehow takes a week every time. So there's no denying that. But here's what you can do now. You take your Jira backlog or Linear or whatever tool you're using, and you feed it to an AI agent, right? And then you say, based on the team velocity from the last 3 sprints, suggest what goes into the next sprint. And it actually does that for you. It looks at the historical data. It factors out in who's available. It even considers dependencies between tasks, like, oh, the API task needs to be done before the front-end work can start. It catches all that stuff. And the cool part, it's often more accurate than the PM because it's not guessing, right? It's looking at actual data. Like it knows that developer A consistently underestimates backend tasks by about, let's say, 30%. A human PM might have a gut feeling about that, but the AI has the numbers. Okay, this one is probably my favorite because I think stand-ups are, let's be real, right? Most stand-ups are kind of a waste of time. Sorry, I said it. You get 8 people in a room or more likely on a Zoom call or a Teams call and everyone goes around saying the same thing. Yesterday, I worked on the login feature. Today, I'm continuing the login feature. No blockers. Cool. Thanks. That could have been a Slack message or a Teams message. So here's the AI version. You set up an automated workflow and there's a bunch of ways to do this where every morning an AI bot pings each team member on, let's say, Slack, right? It sends out a simple message. Hey, quick update or quick question. What did you finish yesterday? What's the plan for today? And is there anything blocking you? Then people reply whenever they get into work. It takes them about 30 seconds. Then the AI takes all of those responses, compiles them into a summary, and posts it to the team channel. But here's the key part. It doesn't just copy paste the responses. It actually analyzes them. It flags blockers automatically. It notices patterns. Like if three people mention they're waiting on the same API endpoint, it highlights that. It even suggests action items like consider prioritizing the payment API. Three members are blocked on it. A PM doing this manually would probably miss half of those connections. Not because they're bad at their job, right? Because they're human and they're juggling like 15 other things. All right, status reports. This is honestly where the most PM time gets wasted. Like, I've seen project managers spend literally half a day every Friday just compiling status reports for leadership. You know the drill, right? They go through Jira, they check what got done, what didn't, they calculate some percentages, throw it in a PowerPoint or an email, they make it kind of look nice for the executives. And then the executives just skim it for about 30 seconds, maybe? Now, with AI, this whole thing is automated, right? You connect your project management tool, whether that's Jira, Asana, Linear, whatever, right, to an AI agent. And then every Friday or whatever cadence you want, it pulls that data automatically. The tasks that are completed this week, tasks that are carried over, the velocity trend, the budget burn rate if you're tracking that, and any risk items. And the output isn't just raw data, right? It generates an actual executive summary written in plain English. Sprint 14 completed with 87% of planned story points delivered. The authentication module is 2 days behind schedule due to a third-party API integration delay. Recommend allocating additional backend resources next sprint. That's literally what a PM would write, except the AI does it in about 10 seconds, and the PM takes 4 hours. Okay, so this is the one that honestly surprised me the most, because you'd think that risk detection requires human intuition, right? Like you need experience to smell what's going to go wrong. And sure, there's an element of that, but here's what AI is actually really good at: pattern recognition across data that no human can process at scale. So think about this. An AI agent monitoring your project can watch things like commit frequency dropping off, which usually means someone's stuck, right? PR review times increasing, which means bottlenecks, the same task, getting moved sprint to sprint without any progress. And then you have scope creep, new tickets being added faster than old ones are being closed. Now, a good PM might catch one or two of those signals in their weekly review. However, an AI catches all of them in real time and alerts you before they become actual problems. Like it will flag, hey, the deployment module has 3 tasks slip in the last 2 sprints and commit activity in that area dropped 40% this week. You might want to check in with the team. So that's not replacing human judgment. That's augmenting it with, superhuman pattern recognition. And that's honestly where the real value is. Last piece, and this is the one that eats up so much of a PM's day, is just communication, right? Follow-ups, reminders. Hey, did you review that PR? Hey, the design review is tomorrow. Do we have the mocks ready? Hey, can you update your ticket status? It's basically professional nagging, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's genuinely important, but it's also kind of soul crashing. Like nobody got into project management because they love sending reminder messages. Now, if you look at the screen closely, AI handles this beautifully. You set up rules and triggers. If a ticket's been in review for more than 24 hours, automatically ping the reviewer. If a sprint goal is at risk based on current velocity, alert the tech lead. If someone hasn't updated their task in 3 days, give them a gentle nudge. It's going to be all automated, all contextual, and no human has to remember to do any of it. And yes, the tone thing, this is kind of funny, right? AI is actually better at this than most PMs because it never gets frustrated. It never sends a passive-aggressive Teams message or Slack message, right? It's just consistently professional every single time. Okay, so let me bring this all together because I don't want you to walk away thinking you need 15 different tools to make all of this work. The system is actually pretty simple, all right? You've got your project management tool at the center. It could be Jira, Asana, Linear, whatever tool you're using. You connect an AI layer to it. That AI layer handles 5 things automatically for you. sprint suggestions, async stand-ups, status reports, risk alerts, and follow-up communications. And then on top of all of that, you still have a human, right? Maybe it's a senior PM, maybe it's the tech lead, maybe it's just you who handles the stuff AI can't really do. That's your stakeholder relationships, the tough conversations you need to have, the actual decision making when things go sideways. So that's the real shift here. It's not about firing project managers, right? It's about freeing them from the 80% of their job that was always busy work anyway, right? And if you're a small team or a startup that can't really afford an $80,000 PM, now you don't need one, right? The AI handles the operational stuff and your team lead just handles the human stuff. All right, so that's the system. If you found this useful, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you in the next one.